Welcome, guys. We are just about to get started. Get yourselves tuned in. Feet up. If you have popcorn, you can eat that now. If you got drinks, you can have them. We have a lot to talk about in terms of what happened over the weekend. I hope to share it with you. Welcome, absolutely everybody, to the Roaring GT1s. This is the inaugural round of Season 3 iRacing Fanatec GT Challenge. Still got ILMS on the brain. I just saw so many P2s over the weekend from the Le Mans virtual race. Hopefully the camera shots are coming through good. We've got a lot to discuss with our main boy. And I hope you guys enjoy what we were able to provide. And to any GT1 drivers, if you spin, like I saw in the earlier session today on the formation lap, cameras will be pointed at you, so. As always, I'm joined by the man himself, the venerable Craig King. Craig, how are you?
Oh, good evening. I am very fine, thank you. Now, I think a lot of people may not know us because they may not have seen us from our other broadcasts we do. So, before we do that, mality. That's the formalities out the way. Welcome to the Fanatec GT Challenge, which is actually kind of a nice homage because the first Le Mans 24 hours on iRacing was done with these cars. And isn't it great how we've just seen the biggest sim race, ever with the virtual Le Mans today, and we're kicking off the start of the GT season with its first broadcast race in I'm not sure how long.
I think somebody would have to correct me. It's probably been about a year.
Wow.
I think that's about it. GT1 social distancing.
I've got to be honest. When you load up to the sim and you spectate a Corvette, and all you hear is that engine. Oh, it's fantastic. There is a fantastic sound, and this is a car that a lot of people, you know, like. I got my first real introduction to it last year during Jimmy Broadbent's charity race, the 24 hours with GT1 cars. So I got my introduction there. They are fantastic old school cars, which you're really going to work for, and I believe they're also the new damage model. Not 100% on that, is that right?
I think so.
Fantastic. So, some drivers are finishing their final qualifying laps. Where is that? Yep. Dan Muller will take pole position for this race. I'm pretty sure no one else is going to... Yeah, no one else is bothered trying to set a lap at the moment, or will set a lap. So yeah, Dan Muller will be pole for this, with Simon Vernier in P2 and Kevin Bellens just coming in P3 there. So really good there at the GT1 class. But we have to say, there's more than just the GT1s, more than just these Chevys and these Astons.
There's these cursed things.
Cursed. Now, I actually did not realise they were only that they were that far off pace. They're the pole position lap for the Ford GTs with Ethan Bass with a 2 minutes 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds. So a handy driver can only be about a few seconds, about 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, sorry, 6 seconds. Sorry, slower than a GT. So it's almost like an LMP1 and an HPD in some respect on long fast tracks. So that'll be interesting to see. You must know why they're cursed. There must be a reason.
Yes, because you know that GT3 car, the Ford GT3. This is the same car.
Yeah.
It is iRacing at its finest. Oh, let's take a car. We'll make it for another class. It's scary how it's insane, really, and to put into better words. But that's qualifying over. Let's go over the results, I think.
Yeah, let's just quickly go over the results. We mentioned the leaders of the GT1 class here. There is a 36 cars in the GT1 class, so I think just for speed, I'll probably talk about the top 15. We mentioned Dan Muller getting pole with a 2 minutes .257. Kevin Bellens was close at the end there with a 2 minutes .273. Simon Vernier took P3 with a 2 minutes .464. All these guys are going to be 2 minutes flat, so I'll just read out the milliseconds. Anthony Froment took P4 for 0.722. Stefan Overgaard, a 0.831. Tanner McCulloch, a 0.980. Then we come to the 201s. Thomas Ferrier, a 201.009. Vive Paiva, a 201.013. Justin Hayes, a 201.212. Jon Bambois, a 201.252. Richards Bismala, a 201.837. Felipe Gottschalk Castellas, 201.959. Gareth Jones the fourth, 202.252. Gabor Kovacs the fourth, 202.293. And Christian Tanahanto with a 2.2365. That's the top 15 in a 36 car field for the GT1s.
I think there's only 6 runners in the GT2. Well, it's called 8. The Ford GT field. Well, only 6 are qualified on my screen. So it is right from the top. It is Ethan Bass with a 206.5. Rolleveld with a 208.122. Sander with a 209 flat. Hayes with a 209.364. Mascara with a 209.617. And Ericsson with a 210.4 flat.
Yep, just to mention the other two in the Ford field, Linus Rupp and Gregory Nutley, in that order, at the back of the field, they will be. We've got a 36 car field for the GT1s, 26 cars qualified, so it will be interesting. We've got a lot of time to fill because we want to say this is good. This is our first time broadcasting Road America since the update. A very nice texture update to try and bring it a bit more realistic feel to how it is nowadays with a couple of the tarmac runoffs. So it really looks nice. And as they come over this bridge, it is still the same bridge that you see in the thumbnail, just a little bit modernized here with the Sargento real cheese people bridge there. But that's probably the only thing that has stayed the same on this track since the update.
I tell you now, that every time the Corvettes rumble past, your voice just gets drowned out just by the sheer noise. And I have the racing feed turned down to 25%.
Yeah, I had to turn it down, and it's still, wow! It's in your it's in your ears, not in your face. It's in your face. Not in your face. It's in your face. Not in your face. It's in your ears. Oh God.
By the way, a wild Tanner McCullough, he calls me SKIE for some reason.
A wild Tanner McCullough who also you said, "Hey Tanner, how's Radion?" when he was going past Blanchemont.
Yeah, that's where the broadcasting service got its name from. Ironically enough, it's all come full circle.
This is our way of paying it. So I don't think there is any difference in terms of performance. The top two were Chevys, then two Astons, then a Chevy and Aston that keeps flipping. So it looks pretty good. I also had to mute this audio, which is really annoying. The voices are too loud today. Everyone's talking too much. It must be an American series.
A question from Nelson Yester. He says is that Adam guy fast?
Who?
Well, it has to be somebody in the race.
Who is the Aston guy? Oh, Chris.
Adam, not Aston.
Adam. Who is?
Adam L. Watson.
He did not qualify. He is starting P28. Did not qualify. They are coming down to Canada Corner. And as they come to Canada Corner, then they will come to the Bill Mitchell bend, which is hard for me to say, because if I say it too fast, I think it's the Bill Mitchell bend from EastEnders, which is a British soap. So I will, if I call it the Bill Mitchell bend, I apologise, but we'll do our best.
And we're getting ready. They are just coming around turn 14, the final corner. Vehicles for Life sign in full view. The inaugural flag is about to be waved. They're ready to get going. I can hear nothing in my ears. And the lead car, the car number 7, has just gone off. They are charging forth. That green flag is now waving. The inaugural race for the Fanatec GT Talent is underway, and Tanner McCullough gets pushed onto the outside of the grass on the start-finish straight. As they come into turn 1, no dramas here at all. Nice and clean.
Coming down safely at the moment. I think that looks like that's Justin Hayes trying to make a move there. No, he gets John Bamboy making a move on him there for P10. But apart from that, it's all side by side. Actually, just at the back there are two cars going side by side. That looks like a combination. That is Castellas there. Who is that with? That's Castellas in a freeway battle there as Tanahanto goes by him and Gareth Jones. So a bad start there for Felipe. As Tantaho almost captured there, Gareth Jones looked a little bit wide as they go down the sharp left-hander at turn 5 at the bottom there. But as they go over the Corvette Bridge, almost coming side by side, do not make any contact there. That is Gareth Jones, and that is, that's Tantaho. Still side by side coming through the kink there into the hurry down. I can't remember. As they come down now into turn, it's actually Gareth Jones again. Look, they're side by side. Still little bits of touches there in this battle. It's only a battle for like P11, but it is fantastic. Into the carousel they go, and Gareth Jones does take it.
I think he wrote the numbers backwards on that car. He wrote 19 backwards as they come through kink.
Oh, contact! No, they both crashed. Oh, that is a bad move there, but Gareth does get it to a 360. Just keeps it on. What happened to Tantaho? Is he okay? No serious damage there, but I think he did have some And then they get spun again by another car as there's more chaos up ahead. And this is the thing, cold tyres, a lot of different, and he may catch the Ford traffic, does not still now. So Tanahanto is now down into P28, I want to say. Not entirely sure at the moment, but at the front, Dan Muller will take the lead. Simon Bernier is there into P2 with Anthony Froment in P3. Kevin Belland, who was in P2 at the start of the race, has dropped down to P6.
There's a lot of death. There was a lot of death into turn 1, turn 2. We're going to try and see if we can get a replay at the start. Bear with us. While we did actually catch the kink, that was a really unfortunate incident, but they seem to still be going.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of people going to make an overtake through the kink there, but he actually, in all due fairness, he made that.
Oh, there's been another contact. There's been another contact. What turn is that? Is that turn 5 between the car number 14 and that Corvette? Let's have a replay of that. They come on to turn 5. The Corvette. Oh! The Corvette went onto the inside of the car number 14. The car number 14 being Juan Bamboy. Is that Juan Bamboy? And they both have had a collision, and Bamboy, I think, is towing. He has.
Yeah, they both got a bit stuck there, and Justin has tried to pull it back, tried to get around. He got up there, I think, to turn 6. Could not do anything. The grass is ice, and they hit, and then they hit again, and then they hit again. They were doing some dancing by the looks of it, so that's a shame. Well, actually, you know, I just realised we've got 3 people. Is that we have 3 drivers in the pits from the Ford field. We haven't mentioned the Ford field, but by the looks of it, the leaders of the Ford field had a bit of an accident between one another.
Let's just try and get that just 1 second.
Are we going to be denied by the joys of iRacing? By the looks of it, may, but yeah, it's not good for me. But it's Derek Rovalid and Tony Hayes. They started really strong here at the start of the front of the race. Both got taken out, and then Gregory Nutley also joined them in the forest. So Ethan Bass still has the lead of the Ford field, with Linus Rupp now up into 2nd place, making 5 places up there. These Ford GTEs, GT3s, these Fords,
GT3s,
Fords,
GT3s,
these Fords. I'm calling them Fords. I don't care. I'm gonna get myself confused all day. They sound amazing though.
But they're cursed. They are cursed. They shouldn't exist. They should never exist. But we'll gloss over that. Now,
right, go on then.
We have three of the 8 starters for the GT2 field are in the pits. They are lapped down, and there is another casualty in turn. Is that turn 5 again? Peter Black is off in turn 5. Let's try and see what happened there. He must have gotten hit, because he's got quite a lot of damage on the front end. He keeps it nice and tidy. Doesn't come out in front of anybody. Oh, it's a bit close. It might be another casualty of this race. We've had a fair few so far.
I know that he was behind Fiona Siddons at the start of the race, so I'm not sure if that would have caused it. But she's driving fine at the moment, so not entirely sure. She's driving fine into P20. Coincidentally, even Bass in the lead of the GT2s is technically P21. That's how many cars he has either overtaken or how many cars have crashed out. There are 32 cars still on the lead lap in the GT1s. And Ethan Bass has overtaken, and Linus Rupp, for it to be fair, has overtaken 12 of them. But at the front, Felipe Paiva went purple for two flat .5 Muller was a 0.9, Vernier was a 0.8, and Froment was a 0.6. And he is right on the tail of Vernier here as they come up to the hill. They've gone down into T5, up into T6 here, down into the little kink right now. It's still there with Vernier. A good run out of the kink here for Froment may give him the line here. Vernier will hope for the defense in the middle of the track. Good little place there. But if they have to make a decision there, Froment decides to hold back as they come through T8. Down now into the carousel, 9 and 10. Let's see what they're going to do again. If Froment can get a good run, and Vernier's gone wide at the carousel. Bit of compromise there with Vernier. Might get a better exit, but he does lose there. Does lose in the fact that this will give Froment some slipstream. Into the kink they go right now, down into the cattle bottoms. Vernier cannot get the slipstream of Muller. He is struggling and crawling to get that slipstream, to get that suck. Does not get it, but at the same time, he does hold off Fromont. So these two will go around again. It'll be interesting to see, has Fromont made up time on this lap? He might have, but he's also been compromised by the dirty air.
I mean, especially with the GT cars in general, you definitely have some leeway when it comes to slipstream, but you go slidey when you try and do a corner at an increased speed. As they come up the hill to start another lap, 21, nearly 22 minutes remaining in the race. These two are going at it quite hard. Nice clean driving as well, coming into turn 1, nice and clean, down the hill. The key here is who has got the brave pill, because these cars, I mean, with the new damage model, they are a little bit more resilient to the knocks and bumps that iRacing usually has, as the car number 18 of Froment looks onto the inside of Vernier, looks onto the inside going into turn 5. He has made the move. The car number 18 has made the move up into second place to chase Muller, who's had a comfortable, well, slightly comfortable race so far. Number 9 is definitely not letting up. Vernier will not want his position to be taken as they come through hurry downs now. There's a half a second between the two of them at the moment, and about a second and 1.2 seconds between Vernier and Muller. The gap is closing now to just under a second. So let's see what happens throughout the next lap between these two. Will Vernier relinquish and let go of the slipstream and try and defend his third place from car number 1, Paiva, who is lurking in the background to try and get a podium here in the first race of the season? Or will he try and claw back second?
Yeah, it's interesting start there. I mean, interesting there for Froment. Froment definitely faster than Vernier, and he's in that situation now where he wants to catch Muller, but at the same time he hasn't pulled away enough through the technical section of Road America, the corners there down the hurry downs and the carousel. So he's still got that. He's still got Vernier. He's still got that Aston, just using as much slipstream as he can. So while he is trying to catch Muller, and the gap is under a second now, he is almost half a second ahead of Vernier because he has got a lot more drag. And there you see the times: a 2:01.3 for Muller, a 2:01 flat for Froment. Actually, it was under 2. It was actually under 2:01. It was 2 minutes .981 at the same time, and Vernier almost a second behind him. So he cannot catch him on these first two corners, and this allows Vernier to get some slipstream. But if he can just have a good middle sector like he has been doing already, Froment does have a chance to catch on to Muller here.
Well, he does have the toe. Vermont does have the toe, and in consequence, Vernier has a toe from Froment, so Muller is the odd one out in this case. He has to push the hardest, essentially, especially in the corners, to try and break the toe that he's currently giving to Froment. I've now cycled 3 versions of Froment, so bear with me. But as they come past hurry downs, on towards the carousel, past turn 8, into turn 9, onto the carousel, nice and flat, no issues at all. Now let's have a look at the cursed section of our leaderboard.
Do you know what? We have another retirement. Gunter Sander had a retirement, so I'm not entirely sure what happened to him. He's not in the pits. He's literally just left the sim. That was 2 laps ago. So Ethan Bass, Linus Rupp, Javier Mosquera, and Eddie Ramirez Ericsson are only 4 drivers in this field. And I just when I go and look at these things, they look so weird. Actually, Ericsson. No wonder why I'm looking. They look so weird. Ericsson basically has a broken rear, and he's got a wheel sticking out, and he's got a headlight that just looks a little bit sad on the back there. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Might explain the standard.
I think that was the turn 1 between turn 1 and turn 2 death that was reported between the YouTube comments. By the way, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Any feedback for us for first stream is always handy to have. Give us a subscription and all that kind of jazz. Appreciate it.
Fromont is now less than half a second against Muller. He took a third of a second out in that last lap. Muller is on the defense, but trying to defend turn 5 by taking the inside line is never handy. It does compromise you going up into turn 6. And Vernier has also caught on now, so the top 3 are a second. They're a second ahead of them. If this was cycling, this would be the breakaway group. They are breaking away with these times. They are almost a second faster than everybody else at the moment. Paiva is trying to catch as much as he can and not doing so well. Half a second gap between Muller and Fromont. Half a second gap between Fromont and Vernier. So this will be interesting because Fromont is in that weird position. He has to attack. He will attack. But at the same time, one mistake and Vernier is right down his neck again. So they are out of the carousel, coming into the kink, down into the kettle bottoms. I love that name, the kettle bottom. Into the kettle bottoms they go. There will not be an overtaking move here because he does not have the time. He just needs a good exit out of Canada corner, the Bill Mitchell bend, and onto the start-finish straight. So we'll just watch this here. Taking a bit of curb there, Muller. Does take some curve. You see the dirt kicking up there, but should not cause too much of an issue. Fromont, nice sliding there, going up the Bill Mitchell corner. Into the final corner they go. Not a lot of time gained there from Fromont. Muller will live to fight another day because this will not be a gap that Fromont will be able to overtake in the next 2 straights.
Well, he's definitely closed the gap between himself, Muller, and Fromont. So it's definitely edging towards a battle for P1 at this stage rather than a battle for P2 between Fromont and Vernier. As Vernier is now slightly coming under threat from the car behind him. Overguard is only 2 seconds behind him, and if he can get some tow or if Paiva makes a mistake or 2, he's now under threat himself. Meanwhile, let's go back down towards the middle section. Oh, so we see smoke coming into turn 5. What's going on here?
Looks like there has been, Ericsson, the GT, the last running GT2, sorry, the last running Ford. Looks like he had a moment into turn 5. Just watch it. No, he didn't. It actually smoked there already, so someone must have gone off. But this will be interesting because the GT1s are catching the GT2, and I have no idea how this plays out. So I'm going to guess it's like an IMSA style here with the GTs and the GT3s because there's going to be that much difference in time. But where can you make the overtake is the question. So be interesting to see. But Ericsson was a 2:15 last lap, and in fact he just yields. He just yields the position there, and that will actually help Muller better than anybody else. But Paiva is now on the tail, of Vernier.
As Grip TV would say, there's a bit of a gaggle. What a gaggle! A gaggle of 4 going through turn 13 onto 14. So the final turn now. This is coming up to lap 9 of a presumptive 15 at the moment. There's now a gaggle of 4 at the top. Car number 7, Muller. Number 18, Fromont. Number 9, Vernier. And number 1, the what should be presumptive to be the top iRating iRacer, Paiva. He needs to make up as much space as he can. He's threatening Vernier. They're only about 0.4 of a second between them as they come through turn 3 onto Bahrain sweep. Will Paiva make a move now? He might have enough slips. He might be too far away. Fromont's looking like he's thinking about it. He's tucking up in behind Muller as Paiva goes wide, coming into...
Muller went wide. Sorry, Muller went wide as well. Sorry, there was almost a chance there for an overtake for Fromont there. Muller went wide into turn 3. Has lost a bit of time here. They come down to the kink. Fromont will have a better gut. No, Fromont pulls out from the dirty air, but that was close. Muller had a moment there hitting the gravel a little bit at the exit of turn 5. Sorry to cut in. And it did cost him. And I think he is having a bit of tyre issue right now. Just trying to get that gravel off the tyres. Have lost some time. There is a GT2 ahead of them. I don't think it will play factor at this moment, but it might play factor in the next couple straights. Now, does any of these drivers, are they going to make a move here? Well, I cannot see Paiva making a move. Fromont, does he want to send it down into Canada corner? He does not. He's going to be polite, just like the Canadians. Holds on, and now comes the traffic. Muller now has the GT2 of Derek Roosevelt right in front of him. He will probably have to just be careful. Yep, he is a bit careful going into the final corner. Will he be able to get? He will get past. It all depends on what Roosevelt decides, because some drivers do like to yield, some don't. He does do that, but behind him right now is Fromont. Fromont will take the slipstream he can, but it's not going to be enough. He's only getting up to his back wheel because of the slipstream that Muller got. Will he decide to make a move into turn 1? He will. Side by side, they touch, and Muller goes spinning round. He goes spinning and saves the car. It gets hit from the back though from the GT2 of Muller, of Rollevard, sorry. Now, is there damage? A little bit damage to the bumper there for Muller, but it does stay P4. But he has now to fight Overguard here. That was a really risky move there from Fromont. Maybe Muller could have given a bit more space. Maybe, I don't think he was expecting Fromont to spend it into like he did.
Oh, I was just seeing the replay now. That was a very closely raced corner. He has rear right wheel damage. It is cambered very harshly. Ooh, might be just iRacing again. He seems to be driving fine at the moment, but that was, I would think, a racing incident, just a bit too close racing. But he is now knocked down for 3 places, sorry, and it's being threatened by Overguard for a 4th place.
Accident? Yeah, there was an accident in front of them by the looks of it. Emil Nielsen had a bit of a spin in front of them, and Linus Rupp did avoid, only just, and I don't think any other car hit them. Oh, Javier Mosquera hit him though. Javier Mosquera, no, didn't hit. Actually spun as well, so in avoiding one car, 2 cars has spun out there, but everything's still fine. Muller still has P4. Has managed to defend Overguard, but he is now behind. He's 2.5 seconds behind, but I doubt that will cause a lot of aero damage. He might be able to fight back to try and get a, well, there's not 10 minutes left in the race, so he'll have to put some lap of the gods, because that'll be 5 laps remaining. But at the moment, here is your leader, Anthony Fromont, half a second ahead of Simon Vernier, and a second ahead of Paiva, and these 3 will probably just keep going with the breakaway, because I don't think there's going to be anybody else that will catch them.
As they say never, especially with these kinds of races. Anything can happen. And there's a gaggle of 3 Aston Martins. Which, by the way, is so much better sending than the Corvette. But, apart from my own personal bias from the sounds, they are the top 3 at the moment. Fromont is now leading after his racing incident with Muller, coming into turn 1 on the last lap. He is now having to defend himself from the blue, silver, and red car of Vernier. And we do have a supporter. Mike Passley says, "Go Vernier, go!" We have a cheer for the. I'm assuming he's French. Oh, we have a cheer for the French as the. I think that was the number 28 Ford. Oh no, it's not the number 28. It's 25 Ford. Just dove out of the way, trying to avoid getting in the way of this 3-way battle at the moment. Muller, by the way, is on a charge. He's definitely not. He's not letting sleeping dogs lie. He's definitely wanting to claw back his position. He's coming through the carousel now. being chased by Overguard as the top three just come on right through the kink. No issues whatsoever.
Yes, I mean, you said I think Vernier is French. Well, you can always tell French from when they wave to Tricolor so proudly, and that's what he's doing on that lovely livery there for the fixed racing team. Losing a bit of time here to Fromont though, and is now basically having to defend Piver. I do apologise, Felipe, if I do say that name wrong. Oh, just as I say that, he had a little bit of a wobble, Piver, and he loses all the time he had against Vernier. He was on course to set himself up for that straight and to catch Vernier, and he is now out of the just out of the slipstream, as Vernier catches the slipstream. So that's a bit of unluck. I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm not gonna praise drivers, because that's a commentator's curse right there.
Do you want to remind the ladies and gentlemen what you did the last time you did that? You made a driver crash.
Yep. We thankfully there are no pit stops in this series. Otherwise, there'd be an issue that someone would get a drive-through penalty for speeding. That happens when we're watching battles. We've had crashes. Just everything. I just want to while the leaders are still going hard, but they look like they're pretty safe at the moment. It's still in the top 10 right here. We've got Tanner Mccoy. He is catching Rashad's Speed Smaller.
Rashad. We're just gonna call him Richard because on our screens and on the UI that you see at home, yeah, his name is having a umlaut. I think that's it. Oh, Tanner goes going wide, just coming past up the hill on turn 6 into turn 7. Coming through the hurry downs now at the moment. His car is a bit damaged. He's still going strong. I mean, there's a fair few cars in this race that have had like fronts missing. There's the pink car, the car number, I think that's the car we saw having the accident in front of the leaders 2 laps ago. He's still going around, but he is still on the rear. He is within a second of Richard is McCullough. The pink Corvette is a lap down. He's tucked in between the two of them. The car number 37, there we go. The car number 7 of Nielsen tucked in between them as they came through Canada Corner. And we've got another set of traffic now. Oh,
that's not what you want to see. Rupp had a moment there at the Bill Mitchell bend, had a moment and almost went off-roading, held up Rashad there, and this is going to get Tanner the run. Might be a little bit damaged, but the British power of the Aston Martin. Rule Britannia, get past it. Side by side they go into turn 1. They blink. God damn it, they blink. It's on my internet. The British Aston Martin is still winning. He will take this against the American Corvette. Side by side down into turn 3. Almost touching. He takes the lead. Rule Britannia.
The lead of 8th position. But they are still side by side as they come down into Moraine's sweep. The Corvette has just edged ahead of the DBR9. He'll have the inside line going into turn 5. And now Tanner has to attack once again.
Got a bit of a slingshot though, going wide and then going back in. He hasn't lost a lot of time there. Really good move there by Tanner. Does not have a move on this moment here, but I wonder if that damage from earlier, there's no damage to the wing, but it does make you wonder, is he out of top speed? Down on top speed, sorry. Just the way that is. Does make you wonder.
Hopefully not. He seems to be he was side by side on the start-finish straight pretty much all the way, so unless the Corvette has a little extra grunt in the top end, you could probably say it's a bit of damage, but not too much.
Back to the lead trio right here. Piver now 0.2 of a second behind Vernier. Will he make a move here in the Metalumine? No, that's the GRB Racing. I like that. I don't know. I need to work out what that is. He is almost on the bumper of Vernier. He pulls out to the side right now. He will just not get the side by side here. He will not send it in late. Almost cuts the grass there. loses a small bit of time there. He has Ethan Bath in front of him, does Vernier. That will give him some help with the slipstream. Not sure how much. We'll just see how quickly he goes by. Not a lot. In fact, look at it. Look at Vernier using every bit of every moment he can through the slipstream, past that beautiful Golf 4 GT3. And now they're going. Now can Piper. He wants to make the move. I don't think he's got it. He's going to have to brake a little bit late. They're side by side into turn 5. He does make it. Yes, now can he hold on to it? Vernier does get the bit of a slingshot there. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get a move in. No, Piper does make it stick. The number 1 car is now up into P2. There are 2.5 minutes left, and we've got a lap left. I don't think he's got a chance on Fromont. And also at the same time, Overgaard had taken P4, sorry, from Dan Muller. So it's obvious that that damage that Muller had is affecting him. And it'll be interesting to see if Bellens starts to catch him.
I'm just seeing a replay now of that overtaking maneuver into turn 5. The car number 9 of Vernier had a little wiggle coming out of it. So he lost a little bit of time, and that's reflected in the current gap between the two of them. It is just under a second at the moment.
It's 1.6 seconds is the gap between Piver and Fromont. So it will have to be a lap of the gods for Piver to do anything. And I don't think it's going to happen right here, as we do now approach the white flag, as Fromont will go past the final corner. Go up the straight, up this iconic hill. Is it iconic? I think it's iconic. It's iconic for sim racers. It's a very nice track to run, Road America. Goes up the hill. Barney will be waving the white flag. Nope, he's not waving any flag. Thanks, Barney. But there should be a white flag. It's definitely a white flag, but Barney's not waving it.
He's just standing there, T-pose. Where's our flag? I thought this was fixed ages ago, iRacing. As they have the final lap now, let's see. Can Piva continue to fend off Vernier, or can Vernier catch up and make that last half a lap a living hell for Piva? Fromont is a second and a half ahead of them, so there's no slipstream that Piva has, so he's under his own element here. He needs to use the 100% of his car, the 100% of the tires that are left, the 100% that the mechanical grip that iRacing gives him. But if he makes a mistake now, it leaves Vernier basically a predator-like pouncing opportunity to be able to overtake him. But it's just not happening at the moment. Vernier is actually starting to fall back now. The gap is about 1.4 seconds at the moment as they come through the carousel on towards the King then. Fromont is not catching the guy ahead of him, or sorry, Piva is not catching the Fromont, who's ahead of him by about a second, 1.2 seconds. And Vernier is continuously falling back. Piva he's on a final chart at the moment, but it's not enough. He won't be able to make up the distance in time, I wouldn't think. Fromont coming through the final 2 or 3 corners at the moment, so
I was going to say, Fromont will come up to the straight. I was just looking at some other battles. I'll go over them quickly at the end. Fromont coming up the hill one more time. Will take the checkered flag. He takes the win here in the first race of the GT Challenge this broadcast this season. Piper will be just a second behind him. Vernier will now cross the line P3. Does Muller make a move? He had a late charge there on Overgaard. Does not do it. Thomas Ferrier will now come up to the line. He takes P6. Kevin Bellens. Where is Kevin? He is nowhere on my list at the moment. McCulloch did take that position from Richard. Actually, I'll tell you what. I don't think... Yeah. Ferrier's gone. Not Ferrier, sorry. Someone's gone. So that's a position made up there at the end of the race for McCulloch there. As... he was running P8, but he finishes P7 after making an overtake.
There's a battle for second place in the GT3 field as they cross the line now. I think that's the final lap for these guys as well. As they cross the line, Rupp takes second place, with Mosquera taking 3rd position, and Ericsson will take up the rear in 4th position. And those are that's the final standing. Oh, there's a bit of a crash in the background. So as we see the rest of the guys coming across the line. That was a really good first race for these guys, the first broadcast that we did. Why don't we go over the qualifying or the race results?
Yeah, let's go to the qualifying from 30 minutes ago. Now let's do the racing. Anthony Fromont took the win of the race. A second behind him, Felipe Paiva was into P2. Simon Vernier took P3. Stefan Overgaard fought back to get over Dan Muller to take P4. Dan Muller led most of the race, had an incident with Fromont middle of the race and lost it and finished P5. Thomas Ferrier took P6. Tanner McCulloch 7. Richard Spicemuller, we can't really see it because of all the umlauts, took P8. Gabor Kovacs takes 9th. Andre Horvath takes P10. Down the rest of the field, we'll go quickly over them. Delvis Tamausunis, 11. Romani 12. Tanahanto, 13. Boucherit, 14. Bio, 15th. Murphy, 16th. Watson, 17th. Gareth Jones, the 4th, 18th. Capellucci, 19th. Berluzzi, 20. Siddons, 21. Fiona Stiddens 21. Bullis was 20. Kevin Bellens was 22. That was the top 22. All were on the lead lap. Anthony Ruse, Nicholas Roy, Emil Nielsen were a lap down. Justin Hayes 2 laps down. Peter Back 3 laps down. Severson was 4 laps down. Castellas was 5 laps down, as well as Hugeland. Juan Bamboys was 7 laps down. Bud Pennington was 9 laps down. And a few retirements here. Richard Swaley, Leona Castro, Ricky Henine, Andrew Vanti, and Peter Coloni. Those last 2 did not even take the lead, the first lap.
A quote from Kevin Bellens, by the way. A guy in front had no working taillights, killed myself in the process. A nice distraction he's got there. You were running very well, by the way, Kevin. I'd like to say that much, anyway. But I think that's almost it for us here in the booth. That was a really good first race. What did you think of the quality of racing that we've seen so far?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought that was fantastic. At the front as well. The front was really good to watch. I wish we could have had a bit more time to show the rest of the field, because there was looked like some good racing there. A lot of pack racing as well. While a lot of them were split up, they were all in bunches there racing along. You know, we did notice near the end of the top 10 there was a battle. There were some battles down there for about P18th. So there's some really good racing around everywhere. Really, just a good indication of what this series can provide.
What do you guys think in chat? Make sure you let us know on the various channels. So Tanner's Discord is make GT1 great again. You can let us know at me. You can at me. You can let us know by subscribing, liking the video. Share it around with your friends. Let them know that GT1 is back on the boards. But for now, Craig, what do we say until next Sunday?
I've already done my YouTube shield. I will say for next Sunday, check us out next Friday as well. If you do like our broadcasting, we'll be doing the iRacing Le Mans series at Le Mans in preparation for Le Mans 24 Hours, which we're not broadcasting. For some more action there for the Sprint series. But if that's not your fancy and you do like the flashback from the past, these beasts of an engines and the GT1s and a Ford GT2, then please join us next Sunday. Thank you and good night.